on that.
Search warrant? The
No, they
Ram?
just,
They had a Ram?
search warrant.
You talking about SWAT teams coming
Yeah.
out, that's what you're talking about?
It was about 13 cars, I looked out,
Yeah.
and there they were just in a moment almost. And that house is still active. No, I don't think so, but once in a while, somebody's over there on the porch a little while. So I wonder if there's a limitation on how long they can leave it vacant or what? You know, because I imagine they are ready to move back in.
Was there a van?
What?
Was there a van?
A
out
van
there?
of them.
A van,
They came with them.
yeah, like a white van?
No, that was the feds that came, that house.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. She
No,
said
that was the feds
13
that came.
cars. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's too many for us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the feds, that was.
yeah. Well, that's a good thing. When you get the feds involved, because their way of negotiating with you and the federal court system was, do you want 30 or 20 years? So, that's not a bad thing to have the feds involved.
But no, I don't mean that. I'm wondering how long will this last, that the house is
So you're saying
there?
nobody lives there?
No, I don't think. But once in a while, somebody goes over there, and I don't know if they're hoping to get in the house eventually or what. That's what I'm wondering, because that was really something.
What do they do, just go up there and sit on the porch or something?
Yes, and I was wondering if they were trying to move in. Listen, the house belongs to my neighbor on the west side of me, on 1200 Everett. That's her father's house. I've seen him. He said he lives in California. But it's a problem. I just wonder if eventually they will come back there. People will move in, because there was a lot of traffic at one point. Seemingly, people came to their house to live, and they were gone very soon. Then somebody else moves in, then somebody, it's just.
Did they ever cause any problem?
Yeah. When the feds came,
What house are you talking about?
it's 1203 Everett.
Is that where the Latino
Oh,
families come in?
okay. Next door to,
The families
okay,
come in,
I know.
and then they
Right, the
stay.
second house
It's
on
like
the
where
corner.
they come, they stay, and then they move. and then
They were
another
doing
family.
some fixed time stuff there.
That's it, that's what I'm talking about.
They can find out how long they're supposed to be there for real
They
life.
didn't bother nobody. That was a lot of mine.
Well, they were not no problem, oh, the church got two businesses.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Such a.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Time stuff. Officer Moore and Officer Pippen would like to present you with this ribbon. It says, "Who I am makes a difference."
Oh, let me see if I can Velcro this. Gonna be taped up there? Don't play with me. Nothing to cheat. I'll tell him, I got it from you, and he'll be like, no problem. I got
I
it.
look forward to working with you.
Well, I won't intrude on you guys' meeting. I just wanted to make sure he was comfortable, okay, going to his meetings. I think he'll be fine. He don't need me anymore. Well, come back if you do.
Sure, you can come back anytime.
He don't need me anymore.
All right, thank you again.
Bye.
Slater gonna miss Officer Moore, because she had that school under control.
She does real good. She's one of the longest members. She was up under the old community place. So see, that was different then.
Yeah.
So it's not like that anymore.
Okay, I would like to say we have water, if anybody need any water, and we also have cookies over here. Got a sweet tooth?
Excuse me, why is there such a turnover with the officers here, or just,
It's kind of like our Sunday school lesson is gonna be Sunday, because they have sovereignty.
I said, what?
I said the same thing while I was sitting here. I said, why, as soon as we get comfortable with one
It's the
community policing
prerogative.
officer, then we, you know.
It would be your, if you were in charge of something, if you wanted to move things around, it would be your prerogative to do so. It wouldn't matter, the reasons or whatever, it's just that you can do that. I mean, because Brinkley, I think, is solved now, because I was looking on the, you go in online and you can see where they are. And, he's in, I think he's out south, you know, with south, where they wanted him to go.
And every year they have, where they bid on certain positions. And if they have the longevity, they can move somebody out, and that's where you get different people in.
Okay, we have our guest speaker,
That's a tough
Richard
act.
Babian, president of the NAACP.
Yeah, that's a tough act to follow too, I tell you. I'm gonna come down there on that end. Hello, everyone. I really like coming here. I don't get to come that often, so whenever I come, I wanna make sure I have something that's going to be, informative. And today I do. I'm sending those sheets out to you. I think I had enough, okay, yeah, you had enough, I had enough, everybody. Because that's what we're gonna be talking about. I got contacted by a group, by this guy named Eric Kirkendall. Should have been enough for everyone. That's okay, that's an extra right there, fine. By this guy named Eric Kirkendall about joining up with him in this group about a potential problem that was coming to the Kansas City metropolitan area. And we formed this group called the Diesel Health Project. Now, here's the history of the group. Burlington Northern, not Burlington Northern, what is it? Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, which is owned by Warren Buffett, went and made an arrangement with China because of all of the pollution that's being caused in San Francisco and Long Beach with the ships coming into the port from China and the diesel trucks going in to pick up those carrier cars that they bring in on those ships and taking them around the country. So they want to cut down on the traffic in LA as much as possible because of the small problems and everything. Warren Buffett went over and made an arrangement with the China that no longer would they have to offload their cargo onto the shores, the ports in LA. When the ships come in from China now, they offload them from the ship to Burlington Northern's trains. When they put those cargo carrier, those things that ride on the back of transport trucks on this train, he brings them to Edgerton, Kansas, which is right outside of Gardner, Kansas, outside of Olathe, which is like 30, 40 miles from here. So they went out there in Gardner, Edgerton, and built the largest inland port in this nation. The largest inland port is out there. And those trains will be bringing them in and dropping them off. Because of that, the tractor trailer trucks will now be coming to the Kansas City metropolitan area from the four corners of the country. I mean, from Canada, from Mexico, from California, from New York. They'll be coming here to Kansas City to pick up the cargo that's coming in here from China. Okay, when we first got this, they said that the guesstimated increase in truck traffic, trucks is also, first of all, the reason we got the problem, diesel fuel has been got classified as a carcinogen 5 years ago, about 5 years ago. Carcinogen causes cancer, and it has particles that are so small that they didn't know this until like 5 years ago, or at least announced it, that just breathing it in can go straight into your bloodstream. So that's, everyone has classified it as a carcinogen except United States. The World Health Group already has classified it and telling everybody around the world, the Pope and everybody's going around telling folks about the dangers of diesel fuel. It wasn't until this year the EPA finally decided that they won't say it's a carcinogen. They said that it has the potential of being a carcinogen. Now, there's legal reasons for them staying away from it, because they know that if they do, they'll be sued out the kazoo with people. So, here's what they guesstimated that the truck traffic in the Kansas City metropolitan area was going to increase to 20 to 30,000 trucks a day. A day. And if you stop and think about it, I was in a situation last night out here, or I think I was I think it was 70, one of the roads, and I was gonna turn around or something, and I just realized that I was completely surrounded with trucks. They're already here, they're already coming in. And since that time, Amazon, you wanna know why Amazon is building 2 plants, not 1, 2. One in Edgerton and one over here in Wyandotte County. Because of the fact that they're bringing those products to Edgerton. People wanna know, why did they pick Kansas City? They picked Kansas City because of this intermodal that's going on out here in Edgerton. So Leticia is my co-partner on this. She's gonna start this little presentation we got for you, because she was born and raised in Argentina, and I think her story is a real story of what it is to live in those kinds of communities. So come on, baby.
How do you spell your name for my last
Leticia.
Leticia.
DECAIGNY.
Okay, thank you.
So, my name is Leticia Duquini, and I was born and raised in Argentina. So I met Richard 3 years ago, 3.5 years now. And at this time, I was getting more involved with the community, and I was part of the Argentine Betterment Corporation, ABC, and Richard sent an email to our executive director saying, hey, I think you guys should come to this meeting to meet and greet people. So I had no idea what I was going to at all. And spent about 2 hours in the room with people from different parts of the US, maybe California, Houston, New York, Florida. And they were talking about their pollutant impacts and solutions. And at the end of that meeting, I learned that diesel was considered a carcinogen. RED said, I bet you if we went around Argentina and asked people what are the top 10 things they're concerned about, nobody's going to mention anything about these locomotives right outside here. And that's when I told them, I was like, yeah, you're right, because that's something I grew up next to. You know, the trains rock me to sleep. I'm used to hearing the china, you know, the plates move, and so I'm just used to it. So, you know, when it's something you're used to, you don't think about it. And so then the following day they did a training on a monitor, and that's where it was explained how we can see how our air is in our area. So what Richard passed out, you can see a picture of the monitor top left with me kind of working on that. We started a training where we trained people how to work this monitor. We asked residents to volunteer their home so we can set this monitor up, and it was set out in their home for 24 hours. After we collected so many, there was like a little disc, it's like a human lung, so it would capture everything that would go in there. We would send it to a lab, and then they would interpret the information. A scientist would interpret the information to us, and we were seeing results that showed that there were days that if you were outside that time for about 3 hours, that you could be hospitalized, 2 to 3 days, being out there for 3 hours. And then we had a handful where it showed that you could go to hospital but possibly cause death. They're really high readings. So through some analysis and just going over that with scientists, we saw that a lot of those high concentrated areas were around the maintenance yard in Argentine. And that's where a lot of the locomotive stops, and they're testing them and literally, I mean, you smell it all the time. And there's people saying that since they've moved in that area that their health has gotten worse. So with me, it's my goal to improve quality of life and reduce illnesses. Part of my story started because my son was diagnosed with cancer in 2007, and unfortunately he passed away in 2012. And that's why I want to continue to help. You know, I started with the nutrition side, but our environment is also something that we need to do something about. So when I found out that diesel is a carcinogen, I couldn't just not do anything about that. And that's when we started with the monitoring process, and now Richard and I have been involved with an EPA EJ, Environmental Justice Grant, to talk to the community and educate, let people know what's going on. And that's why we're here today, to help people. And I'll have this out too. This just tells you a little bit about who it affects. It's just an infographic.
When I see going out, I'll come back up.
Yeah.
I think I got in one of the meetings I was in over there at Quindale Homes. Well, Bob got to a point and said, Richard, all right, shut up, you had told us enough. Well, so basically, that's what he was saying. Okay, the reason we doing this, they had a monitor that was, you know how things are nowadays, going to technology. The monitor was about the size of one of these smartphones. And I rode around in the car with this guy, Eric Kirkendall, and another scientist we had with us, and we rode around in the car with it hooked to a computer so it could test the air. So we started down here in Fairfax, and it wasn't really bad. We went straight out 10th Street, and we went